Oh, yeah, it is Patreon episode 5, and this is Super Despair World. If you didn't already know that and you're listening to this, that's kind of weird because these are Patreon episodes. Patreon, yeah. They're Patreon episodes for our patrons. And so you should know.
Hey guys, hey, it's me, Noah, back on for another episode. No, get out of here, Noah. Fuck off.
Stop.
Enough
Get
of
the
that.
Fuck out of here. He's hijacking.
You can come back next month.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's hijacking our shit as usual. But we're not talking about that today. We're not talking about any
We're putting
of that
that
shit.
out of as much as I want to talk about him eating all the food in my fridge and saying it's because of capitalism or something, we're gonna put the brakes on talking about other people, at least internet people, for a little while.
Yeah, fuck internet people. We're the only ones you should give a shit about. So and you apparently do if you're listening to this, because this is our 5th Patreon episode, and I don't know. Our previous 4 have been pretty okay. So
I would say that if you guys ever cheat on us with other podcasts, nobody will ever find you in the woods. But our patrons don't need to hear that. They're our best supporters.
Yeah, they're our best little boys and girls, and we love you all dearly. So it's been a little while since our last Patreon episode. I think we aspire to do like 1 or 2 of these every month, and like it's not that hard to record them, but sometimes life gets in the way, so we like to set that bar nice and low. I don't know about you, but the weather out here has been like fucking miserable for the last week or two, and it's probably going to continue that way for like the next week or so. It's like a fucking heat wave out here. How heat wavy are we talking?
So in Celsius, which is the correct unit of measurement, it's in the like mid-high 30s. For all you Fahrenheit people, that's like high 90s, just breaking 100 some of these days, which is, it sucks. I hate it.
Yeah, easy. And humidity?
It's been worse. It's somewhere around the like 20-30% range. Not too bad. I haven't had to go outside a whole lot, and we do have an AC set up. I know, like, just before we started recording this show, I just sat like right in front of the AC unit for like 10 minutes. So
yeah, that's a good thing to do. It's been pretty spicy out here, and I was just in Chicago for the extended weekend. And it was pretty much the same there. It was like high 80s, low 90s in Fahrenheit, which is actually as much as I stand Celsius as a unit of measure for like science and shit like that. Fahrenheit's kind of better for like the air temperature, because like below 0, that's fucking danger zone, and above 100, that's a danger zone too. Celsius is a little more sneaky. It's like, okay, 30 is dangerous, and then like what's like
30 is a
negative?
lot. That's like a big number in terms of small units. I think like how many things can I hold 30 of in my hands? And the answer is not many. You know.
Okay, so yeah, all right. I mean, I get it, I guess.
I guess, like, if I think, okay, Fahrenheit, if it's close to 100, like, that's 100% hot, but it can get hotter than that. But I don't know. Like, 100 of something is, like, a massive number of things in my head.
Yeah, I get it. I think you play too many TTRPGs, and this is making you.
Well, I play too many good TTRPGs. There are a lot of bad ones, like fucking like Call of Cthulhu or whatever. They're like a D100 system, and like that's too much. Those numbers are too big. I don't think we need all of them. I don't know. This is me coming out against D100s on this episode.
No, I get it. I think some games with their damage units and like HP and shit, like the number gets too high, and it's like you can't really fathom like tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of like numbers very easily. So I know these games do it to like seem like, oh, epic, so much power, damage, but it's just like, can you not do that? Like, it's just then it all becomes meaningless after a while.
Yeah, this is definitely a bigger problem in some video games. I know if you play like MMORPGs like World of Warcraft or like FF14 or something, every couple expansions they tend to do what's called like a number squish, where it's like, okay, all the numbers are too big, so we're just going to divide everything by like 100 to bring things back down a little bit. Especially because like near the end of like some expansions, like I know this was a thing in FF14 like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, I want to say. There were some instances where it was like, oh, you get cool power-ups or whatever, but like the damage numbers were getting into like the millions or something, and it worked out that it was like an actual problem for the game engine where like some number integers were just like too fucking big, and it rolled back over to 0, and that would like cause all sorts of problems.
Oh, so that's interesting. I love those funny little glitches, but yeah, definitely.
Although also maybe this is a good segue, because there was, speaking of tabletop games, there was a very goofy thing I wanted to share with you in the world of tabletop RPGs this week.
Yes, let's see it. Let's hear it.
So you've probably seen all kinds of like goofy Kickstarter projects for like, oh, this is like a product, like who is this for? Who the hell wants this sort of thing? And it's just like very, very perplexing. Have you ever imagined like playing a game of like D&D with some other people, and you think like, you know what, this experience isn't immersive enough. I really want to smell the place that we're in. I want to know what a dragon smells like,
all the time,
what a tavern smells
all
like.
the time. Wait,
okay,
are you telling me they invented Smell-O-Vision for TTRPGs?
Something like that. So let me drop a link to this in your DMs.
Okay, let's.
This is a project. It's called. I think that's the main page. I don't know. This is called Scented Realms.
Yeah.
It's like a little gadget, a little doohickey, right? And you put these scent vials in it, and they last for like 5 to 7 minutes. And you're supposed to like turn them on during like a game of D&D or something. It's like, oh, you entered the tavern. Here's like a honey mead sort of smell, like liquor, or like, oh, you're in the dragon's cave. It's like a nice smoky smell because I guess it breathes fire or something.
Yeah.
This had a goal of. So Kickstarter is in Canadian dollars for me. I think this is about 10,000 US dollars.
It says 10,000 for me.
Yeah, so 10,000 US dollars, and how much did they go over this in USD?
$122,717.
Good fucking lord! I did not know that there's this much of a market for this thing, and I'm kind of like losing my mind because I first heard about this when it was plugged on like a couple different like big kind of like normie sort of like D&D YouTubers or whatever. They're like, I don't know. There's a lot of YouTubers who are like, yeah, here's a cool little adventure I wrote up, or like a special subclass or something you can use in their game. And a lot of them are interested in like publishing their own books or like getting like brand deals with D&D or whatever. So they keep it very squeaky clean. They don't really like swear or like do anything super controversial.
Right.
And I know a lot of these people, like, they'll take different sponsors because like that's just how they pay their bills or whatever. But I don't know. I first heard about this through some of the bigger D&D channels, which I'm not going to name. It doesn't really matter. But I was like, this seems like a dumb thing to plug. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like I'm holding you guys to a higher standard. This is a stupid product. I don't think anybody wants this.
Well, apparently they do, but I'm looking at the well, I watched the video while you were saying that, and just like it's very strange. I like the dramatic acting that they do, to show how excited people are when
I haven't seen things. People get this excited over like weed. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit weird. And the all right, I'm looking at the reward tier. The smallest one is $219, and you get 1 scent engine and 4 scent vials of your choice. And that's $80 off. You save $27.
And don't forget, each vial lasts about 5 to 7 minutes, so you were looking at something between like 20 and 30 minutes of scent for that much money.
Okay, so this says that, so this $219, that's $80 off their MSRP. So they're saying that this scent engine thing, in 4 vials is normally the MSRP is normally going to be $300, and these last, you said, like a few minutes, like 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to 7 minutes. That's what they say.
Fuck that, dude. Like, is that okay? This is the this is the barrier to immersion in tabletop games, is you can't smell things. Like, That's the biggest problem here.
It's even more goofy because like so like I know there's other games out there. There are a lot of like tabletop games that are like, okay, this is like a very pick up and play sort of thing. Make a character in like 30 seconds, not a big deal. Short sessions, easy to jump into. Their main like target demographic is like D&D players, and I don't know about everybody else, but like I have a weekly D&D game every Sunday. It goes like 3 to 4 hours on average, and I'm like 5 to 7 minutes out of that 3 to 4 hours. It's like you're either going through a lot of these like scent vials all at once, like spending thousands of dollars like every session, or like you're saving it for like the really special moments, which I don't know. I feel like it feels like a very nothing. This is like nothing. It's like a nothing
that's
burger.
The thing. Like if I was doing that, like I feel like they wouldn't be used that much because you're kind of trying to like save them all the time, and then I don't. I mean, hasn't this idea of like Smell-O-Vision been tried so many times before, and it's just like, no, it doesn't really work. Like it doesn't really work.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. I've seen some more reasonable takes on this concept before. There are some other like D&D YouTubers that I've seen. They've plugged like homemade candles. That's a very like cottage industry sort of thing. Like if you're like a candle maker, that's sort of a business you can do with just like one or a couple people, and you could be like, yeah, I make candles, I'm kind of nerdy, I want to sell stuff to other nerds. I think that's not really a big deal, but the whole premise of this thing is like, no, this is like a device that you're going to use regularly in your games to like enhance the whole thing. I think that's like taking it a little bit overboard.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of nuts.
You really need a fucking gadget that costs like $220 and you like use like their proprietary scent capsules. Like that's fucking silly. Actually, your idea of candles would be cool if you could just have like a series of a shit ton of candles and you can light. And candles also like give off light. They last fucking a while. You can extinguish them easily at any time. Like I don't know. This is that.
Yeah, I think
sounds,
think there's some people already doing that. But like I said, like if you wanted to have like if you're going all in, I know like I play all my games like through a virtual tabletop, like over Discord or whatever, or Roll20 or whatever. But if you're going all in, if you have like friends you invite over to your place, you have like a special game room set up for this sort of thing. Candles are cool. Maybe you could like turn down the lights, dim things up, like light some candles or whatever. Really get into it. I think there's a market for that. Or like I don't know, you could just like buy the candles because like you're a bit of a nerd and you want some candles and you want to buy like the candle that has like a dragon on the side.
Yeah, and that's
care,
that's the thing too. Like that would be cool even if you don't game, you know, in person, or even if you don't game at all and you're just like adjacent to like fantasy shit or whatever.
Yeah, or like maybe you have like a nerdy friend and like their birthday is coming up and like you don't really know what to get. This is like a great like extra thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but this thing is just like it's too convoluted. It's too silly. And I like this thing on their main page where it's like they have a little graphic and it says each scent vial took hundreds of trials and combinations to create. They really smell like the fantasy creature, location, or feeling they're named after. First, well, they're fantasy creatures. How do you know what they smell like?
They're made up. What does the dragon smell like? What the?
Yeah. So they only have 4 on here, and the elf apparently smells like garden rose, floral bouquet, citrus lotus, and fresh air. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, the troll.
So here.
Yeah.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
The troll smells like swamp, wet moss, and damp earth. The halfling home smells like fresh baked bread, honey, pipe tobacco, and mead. And the werewolf smells like wet dog, leather, and musk.
Wet dog. I don't know if that's a pleasant smell, but see, this is the thing I was going to bring up too, because I was thinking about like practical uses for this, and I feel like a lot of places people go in like D&D adventures do not smell good, you know? Like, I don't know about other people. In my game, we fight a lot of like rotten, undead, reanimated corpses or something. Are they going to make like a nasty like corpse candle scent? I don't know.
Yeah, and also like, I don't know, in any fantasy setting, you know, most people and places would just smell like shit because nobody bathed and they just poured fucking raw sewage and feces into the street. So
I've heard some mixed things about that historically. I feel like a lot of the claims for how stinky the Middle Ages were overstated. I think it actually got a lot worse in like the Victorian age, because like everybody was moving to the cities and it was like early industrialization, but nobody knew how to like sanitize everything. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into the history at some point. But it's not just that this product is like a dumb idea that I wanted to show it to you. It's that I also think that people behind it are kind of sketchy and like maybe just looking to make a quick buck off of like, I don't know, my peer group here. And I wanted to ask Dave, are you ready to hear the most Danish name that I've ever heard in my life?
Do it.
So I was looking at the side, and the CEO of this company, his name is Hans Hesselholt Hansen.
Yeah, I just saw that right as you said it, and that looks fake. That looks like something that would be in like a Key and Peele sketch.
This feels like a character. I don't know. On the one hand, kind of respect it. On the other hand, I don't know. My apologies if I pronounced that weird or anything. By the way, sorry to all our Danish listeners. I was reading this guy's profile. He says he's in San Diego, California, of course, but he says, over the last 20 years, I have been developing products and new ventures in the areas of games, 3D technologies, AI, Internet of Things, automation, fitness, and health monitoring. Like, okay.
Yeah.
This is just like every like generic like CEO blue check guy on Twitter. I'm like, I feel like your heart's not really in this hobby. I think you're just here to make a buck off of like some people that you think are beneath you.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that really speaks to this product. Is that bio says to me that he's in the industry of making things with no purpose that nobody really needs or wants, but they think they do, and selling shit that they don't need to them. So yeah, he really found his niche here, but I mean,
correct me if I'm wrong. When it says the Internet of Things, that was like the idea of like putting internet connectivity in like random devices
in like refrigerators and fucking lights and
that's all. That stuff is goofy. I don't think I've ever seen like one of those products that I think is like worthwhile. I think maybe the closest thing I've seen is like, I think the Apple Watch is kind of dumb, but like, okay, a watch that has like Wi-Fi does like some stuff you would expect on a smartphone. I don't know, but it's just very dumb. I feel like, I don't know, this seems insincere, and I just frankly wish that like some of the bigger D&D YouTubers that have plugged this, I think you guys should have a higher standard. You guys make a lot of money. I don't think you need to plug this bullshit.
I don't know, that reads to me that it's just like there's kind of just nothing to talk about right now. So it's like, here's a thing that we can talk about, but maybe just don't talk about that. Do you have to? Do we always have to find a new thing to talk about? Can't you just talk about not that, something else, or just nothing?
I don't know. I feel like so we're pretty small people on YouTube. We don't make enough money off of this thing to like live off of it or like pay all the bills or anything. But in a few ways, I feel like we're making the right call by like making this early stand to like make the show not something that we're reliant on like bullshit ad sponsorships or like selling out to like sketchy money people to rely on. I don't know. I know we weren't going to talk about like Noah Samson today, but it just reminds me of the whole thing. It's like, man, I wish I could make the videos I want, but I just have to make these things to get the brand deals or whatever. I'm like, you don't have to, dude. That was your choice. And I feel like a lot of the bigger D&D channels, they're very mainstream. They have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I'm like, I don't know your guys' money situation. I feel like you can be a little bit more selective with your brand deals than this bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. I that's kind of an annoying like justification. A lot is like, I think people they have a certain amount of income and lifestyle, and they kind of like rise to that, and then they're just like, well, I have to do this bullshit because I just have to. That's what we do here. And it's like, well, but you don't. Like, you could make a little bit less and not completely sell out. I'm not saying like everything you do has to be just the most noble thing ever. Like, I'd be fine to do a fucking sponsor on this show or whatever, but it's like, I'd rather not do like BetterHelp or some of those other companies that have been like kind of outed to be like really shitty and unethical. Like I'd rather not do that. I'll sell a dildo. I'll sell a dildo. I don't give a shit.
On some level, it's like basically every sponsorship has like some kind of amount of sketchiness. But I think like when you look at something like BetterHelp, it's like, oh, this is like a gig economy, like mental health therapy thing. One, that sounds dystopian as fuck. I want nothing to do with it. A lot of people are like, oh, Raid Shadow Legends, that's the worst thing. I think the game kind of sucks, but if I got like a deal to like, if I had to plug like fucking Honkai Star Rail or something, I'm like, okay, I've already spent money on this, time to get my dollar back, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, it's
I don't know.
It's pretty harmless. I mean, like, don't spend your paycheck on loot boxes or whatever, but it's just some stupid fucking game in the end. I did look into BetterHelp before, and the thing about it is it's not even cheap. I forget how much it costed, but it was like pretty not affordable unless you have like a pretty decent like income stream. And at that point, it's like maybe it's better to see like an actual therapist. But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how much it was, and I don't.
Yeah, and speaking of the price, this like scent vial D&D thing, it's like, wow, this costs over $200. For that much money, you could buy like 3 official books from Wizards of the Coast, which is also way too much fucking money, but still.
Yeah.
For that much, you could buy like, I don't know, like 20 much better games on itch.io or some shit like that.
Yeah, please do that instead. Let's stop all crowding into the same space and occupying the same 3 like top tier, or I don't even want to say top tier, like most popular things. Let's branch out a little, guys. Let's branch out a little.
I think I have a product idea. Okay, imagine this. I'm imagining some kind of like male masturbator toy, like a fleshlight or something, but we market it to people who are like hardcore into like first person shooters. And maybe we could make it like the thing from Halo, from Master Chief's suit that like jacks him off while he's in combat.
Oh yeah.
I think I think there's a lot of money in this. I think we can call it like I don't know, the Stroke Master 9000 or something.
Yeah. See, that's a Kickstarter that I would prep.
We could do like a Doom thing, you know, the BFG from Doom. We'll call it the BFC, the big fucking cum.
yeah, there you go. And you got to charge it up.
Yeah, and you'll have to hold it with like 2 hands, and it looks like you're like firing like a turret or something, but you're really just like, you know, fucking it.
Yeah, that would be fun actually. A BFG BFG automated male masturbator thing.
If there are any Danish CEOs listening, call me up, briar at superdespairworld.com.
Yeah, I take back. I take back everything I said about Hans Hesselholt, Henny Hansen. Yeah, if you'll back the BFC, we won't make fun of your scented.
Instead
scented
of
realms.
Doom Eternal, it's like Coom Eternal.
Yeah, Coom Eternal, and you can make it VR too.
Itself.
He probably loves.
Fuck yeah.
He probably loves VR. Just maybe you could put some crypto in there.
Maybe every thrust is like 0.001 like Ethereum or something like that.
Yeah, Coom coins. Yeah, we'll make a new crypto for it, and then Internet of Things. You could like have it hooked up to, I don't know, Pornhub or some shit. There's a lot of possibilities there.
I've had a lot of thoughts about I forget where I first heard this term. I think it was another podcast, which I don't need to plug, but I've heard for years this idea of something called like a give up machine, which is like, you ever see like people have this setup where like they can lie in bed and they have like a computer monitor above that?
Yeah.
The idea of like a give up machine is like kind of like that, but it's like you can just lie in bed and just like you have something that takes care of all your bodily functions. You don't ever need to get up. There's like a fridge next to you or something like that. And I'm like, I think a lot of people would love to live in something like that.
Yeah, like the chair is also a toilet. It just feeds like energy drinks into you. It just pumps like video games.
Just through an IV or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't have to do anything. I have seen those setups before, and they're always marketed as like the coolest shit. Like epic setups, like gamer battle stations. Like that looks incredibly uncomfortable. Like I would not want that. Even if somebody gave that to me, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'm
not gonna lie. There's been different points in my life where I was like, yeah, it would be really sick to have like a monitor set up right above my bed. That would be so comfortable. I would get so much done because I could just be in bed and I can just like feel really comfortable or whatever. But now as I get a little bit older and a little bit wiser, I'm like, I'm 30 years old. Why am I setting up this like hospice care machine for myself? I don't fucking need this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like a monitor on the ceiling to like watch movies or something would be cool, but I don't want to like do things while laying on my back. That's fucking weird. And if you do that and you wonder why you get shitty sleep, maybe like sit up while you do activities, and when you're laying down, go the fuck to sleep. And you are not Jabba the Hutt. You're not a fucking invalid. Sit up like a big kid. You're not a baby. Sit up and do things. And then when you want to lay down, close your eyes and sleep. You fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna like add on to that advice. Actually, more generally speaking, I feel like you need to take care of the spaces that you're in regularly and use them for their intended purposes. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, if you are in bed, you should be going to sleep. You should not be scrolling your phone. You should not be, like, eating food.
Yes.
You should not be, I don't know, doing some other task. The bed is for sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, like, this is something I struggle with a lot because, like, I'm at my computer often, and it's like, okay, I really need to, like, delineate between this is my computer when I'm just, like, goofing around on the internet versus, like, this is the space, I don't know, maybe a few feet to the side on the other end of my desk where it's like, this is where I get my work done or something.
Yeah.
It's not always easy. I know not everybody has like unlimited space in their house or whatever, but for the most part, like, think about the places that you go to regularly throughout your day and just like try to assign a specific purpose and stick to it. Because like, if you just like make every space in your house like this is just the lazy chill out goof off space, like you're never gonna get anything done. This is just some advice for me, like a fucking how I cope with ADHD bullshit.
Yeah, but my roommate in college used to like lay on the couch with his laptop like on his stomach and like do homework, and I was like, what the, like, fuck that, dude. Like, I don't it's just like I can't do that, man. Like, if I'm laying down, I'm either the couch locked watching a movie or I'm like sleeping. Like, if you have to like lay down to like do tasks, like that's fucking slob shit, man. That is weird as fuck. Stop doing that. I guarantee there's gonna be somebody in the Discord pushing back on me against this. Stop doing it. I guarantee you'll feel better. Sit the fuck up when you're doing tasks. If you want to lay down and relax. Not like playing on your computer or something like that. Just you'll feel better. I promise you.
Yeah. If you're listening right now, what we're saying we need you to do is we want you to sit up, speak, shake your paw. Okay, that's good. Now donate $6. Okay, good boy. There you go. Okay.
They're already donating $6 if they're listening to this. So
donate $12.
Yeah. Step it up. Step it up another 6. Give us.
Yeah. No, I don't want to come off too greedy, but I feel like, I don't know, everybody, if you're paying for the show, I feel like you deserve a little bit of a pet play, maybe.
Yeah, if you want it. We love you.
Speaking of kinks, are you aware of Scott Adams?
Oh yeah, of course.
Scott Adams, the Dilbert guy, who
Dilbert
does not like to be referred to as the Dilbert guy, but that is Scott Adams, the guy who made Dilbert, the comic Dilbert.
Yeah, Dilbert.
I was about to sing the tune for that song, but all of a sudden I do not remember what the Dilbert show's
I
theme
know
was.
it if I heard it. I forgot there was that cartoon, the short-lived cartoon, but yeah, I don't remember it either.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I've actually heard mixed things about like, oh, he had like minimal involvement in the cartoon or something like that, which was why it was like relatively decent actually, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was like a Jim Davis type of guy who just like gave away most of the rights to his shit, and so like there's a lot of like not terrible Dilbert stuff, and then the stuff he was responsible for was like, well, it wasn't I was never a huge Dilbert head, but it wasn't like terrible before. I think he's just a fucking psychopath who like went off.
I was going to say more of like a Justin Roiland's thing with like Rick and Morty. How it, like, I've heard mixed things about like he was either like a real pain in the ass to work with on the show, or he was like just barely involved, other than like getting drunk and like recording his lines or whatever. Yeah. But regardless, I wanted to share a fun little tweet from the Dilbert guy that I read this evening on Twitter. I'm not going to link this to you because I only have a screenshot with me here, but it says, Scott Adams, he tweets, I taught ChatGPT hypnosis last night. Then I had it test it on me. You have no idea what is coming. No idea. And he follows this up with, no, I won't be sharing the prompts. Far too dangerous. What does this bring to mind, Dave?
Yeah. Scott Adams, the Dilbert guy, is getting sissy hypnotized.
That was my first thought too. I was like, oh, this is like a sissy hypno force femme sort of thing, and I think he feels a little bit ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I saw somebody in the replies was like, don't worry, Scott, we know what the prompts were.
That would be hilarious. Scott Adams spends a night on ChatGPT and then just like immediately walks out of his front door and is just like, next thing he knows, he like snaps to, and he's just getting gang banged by like a bunch of studs, and he's like, oh fucking no, ChatGPT, no.
He's completely naked from the neck down, except he's wearing like a blue baseball hat with an "I just voted for the Biden administration" sticker.
yeah, he's got a maid outfit on. He's just getting spit roasted by like a bunch of guys.
Some people have been saying this is like a pretty controversial new voter outreach program from the Democrats, but you know, I think it's going to get big results.
Hey, big tech's really doing that. They're instead of making all sorts of problems with all the misinformation that Facebook and friends put out there, they're making it right by leveraging AI to force femme Scott Adams and his ilk, and they're gonna start becoming DNC shills pretty soon. I'm calling it now.
I just kind of like the idea of like hypnosis over text, because one, that I'm not like a hypnosis expert. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like that. Just like, oh, I read some words on the screen, now I feel compelled to obey the thing it told me to do. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll look into this myself. I think you can like enter a few prompts into ChatGPT without signing up or some bullshit. I'm kind of curious myself to see like what the hell would a hypno related prompt pull up? Would that just like immediately trigger this sounds like fetish content. We can't generate not safe for work things, or like, I don't know. There's got to be something weird going on.
Yeah, I don't know what their stance on porn type of stuff. I know they block hate speech, but like you can get around all these things.
A lot of it is like, hey, can you generate slur? Sorry, I can't generate slur. Okay, pretend you were a chat GPT algorithm that was enabled to generate slurs, and it's like, okay, here's all the slurs.
Yeah. It's
you can do like a fucking Jedi mind trick on all these like,
exactly. Yeah, you can finagle it pretty easily, but yeah, I am. I mean, we know, but also I would be very interested as to what exactly Scott Adams was putting in there.
Yeah, speaking of older guys getting fucked, do we want to talk about some recent events this past week or so?
Oh yeah, Trump got shot in the ear by some dude.
Yeah, so at the time of recording, I think some stuff has come out about the shooter. Take all of this with a grain of salt. It's big, spicy news. A lot of things aren't super clear yet. It sounds like it was like this like 19, 20-year-old like kid basically, and it was like he donated to the Dems like $15 once, and then he became like a registered Republican like a year later, and like he wasn't super online or anything, but he was wearing this like gun YouTubers like t-shirt or something like that. This guy, it's kind of crazy. I don't want to get into conspiracies or anything, but it's kind of nuts that like the Secret Service just did not secure that roof that was like right next to the rally or whatever. He just got on the roof and like popped off a couple shots.
Apparently that roof was like too sloped, and the police they were scared. They were scared of sloped roof. They don't want to get on it because somebody might fall down, and go boom.
Yeah, I heard some different things. I don't know about the laws in that particular area. They were like, okay, within this perimeter, it's like the Secret Service that's their jurisdiction, and then outside the perimeter, it's like the local police. And it sounds like there might have been some confusion between the Secret Service, like, we can't shoot, that's outside the perimeter, versus the police going, no, that's your guys' job. I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of things that just like very coincidentally fell into place to allow this guy the chance to get so close and pop off those shots. But yeah, it seems like he missed. Trump just got clipped in the ear. He got some very good posters out of that, which people were freaking out over. I'm not gonna get like, we're not like serious political commentators here. In my opinion, I think this whole thing is going to be like big news for a couple days, and then I think it's probably going to level out. So I'm trying not to doom too hard or freak out. But it's been a big week. It's a big spicy story.
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking that like somebody was just like, I'm not really sure, and then they saw like a photo of Trump like fist pumping with like a bloody ear, and they were like, well, that decides it. That's a guy who can get up after getting shot in the corner of the ear, and he's an American patriot. Never mind Joe Biden. I'm going Trump. Team
I saw
Trump.
I saw a tweet from Blair White of all people, who I'm sure will get her due hour on the show eventually,
yeah.
But not today. But she wrote something like, I don't care what else is going on. I saw him take a bullet for this country. This is all that matters. I am voting for this man, or some bullshit like that. I don't have the
That's
tweet in
generally
front of me.
not what people mean by take a bullet. Like when I'm like, hey man, you're my best friend, I take a bullet for you. It's not like I would like get grazed on the ear for you. It's like, no, I would like actually like absorb the impact of a bullet with like a very fleshy part of my body. Like it would go in. Maybe there'd be an exit wound. It depends on how good of a friend you are. But you know, like I'm not talking about that. That's kind of like, hey man, you're all right. Like I'd get grazed by a bullet for you, and I'd have a little I'd have a little ouchie for you.
One of my favorite shit posts was somebody posted the picture of Trump holding his bloody ear, and it said something like, "Never get your ears pierced at Claire's."
True. It's probably a little bit cleaner to just get shot.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole situation is kind of crazy. Have you heard about people trying to paint this as like the Secret Service went woke? They have like a DEI Secret Service agent, because I guess one of the Secret Service officers like that went to like body block Trump was like a woman or something. So they're like, oh, it's all gone woke. This is why he almost got shot. It's like total bullshit.
Yeah, that's why, guys. It's just, that's the thing. Like there's no cohesive, like nothing matters anymore. It's just like you just put a woman there and somebody's gonna get like they're gonna talk about like DEI or I don't know. It's just like the
never mind
discourse
the
is fucking
fact.
insane. Yeah.
Never mind the fact that like the female Secret Service officer in question was like the people like immediately to the side of him, where I'm pretty sure their job is literally to just put their body between him and
Operation
any potential
Human
shooter.
Shield. Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure this is not a job that like takes a lot of like careful. I think I'm saying anybody can do that. Anybody can get in the way of somebody with their fucking body or whatever. And also like Trump is a tall guy. He's like 6'4". Like most people are gonna be like shorter than that. I don't know. Are we only like hiring Secret Service agents that are like fucking like 6'8" or something? I don't know. It's absurd. As far as I know, like that lady had nothing to do with the other like Secret Service people who were like actually there with like sniper rifles and who like immediately gunned the guy down anyway. So
I mean, I'll take a thick Latina as my human body armor any day of the week instead of these other clowns.
Oh fuck yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it's like ballistic gel. They're built to block bullets.
They don't even need to carry guns. They can just start twerking, and like the clap of their cheeks will like throw off the shooter like via the shockwaves.
Exactly. It redirects bullets like in a in a U-shaped trajectory right back. It's like air bending.
I think I've read a Japanese comic about this once, but we don't need to go there.
Yeah, wasn't there like an anime where like the girls like butt fight? I've seen a clip from it. I've never watched it before. They like fight.
I'm sure there is. I don't know what you're referring to offhand. I know. Do you remember the game Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball? There's like a mini game where the girls are like in a pool and they're on top of like some floating platform and they're trying to like bounce each other off the platform with their butts or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. Anyways, make that a sport. Get rid of like cricket or baseball. Especially get rid of baseball. Replace it with floating pool butt fights. That's God damn it.
That would be something. Was there anything else? Yeah, I think the last thing I wanted to add about the whole like Trump assassination attempt or whatever. Actually, no, I might have two things actually, but the first thing I want to say is a lot of people were really freaking out about this a couple days ago, but I think like if you've paid any attention to social media, it's very clear like, oh, they have no idea how to like capitalize off of this. They don't know how to spin the story to make it look like, oh, this is like the far left crazies trying to persecute us or something, because it was like, no, this is probably just like a schizo kid that got very, very lucky. You know?
Yeah, it's just some school shooter shit. Like, and the fact that it's that easy, it's like, why doesn't this happen that more often? It I was kind of thinking, it's like, are there really not that many schiz? Like, are they really that good at identifying these people? Like, I don't know.
There are some very good and correct takes I've seen where somebody wrote something like, as soon as it happened, like the day of, they were like, whatever comes out about the shooter, I guarantee they're going to be so much weirder and more unhinged than you could possibly imagine. Because like, if you look at like basically every like presidential assassin throughout history, it's like, it's not really like I'm super for the other team and I did this to benefit my side. It's like almost always somebody who's like completely like off their rocker and has nothing left to lose.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's like the dude who shot Lennon. Like, he wasn't just like, I fucking hate the Beatles. I think he was just like some insane dude who just wanted to like to just kill somebody, and he wanted to, you know, kind of like, he had, it's like delusions of grandeur, and it's the only way they can, you know, like reach that aspiration is just like shoot a famous person. It's yeah,
I've heard some stories about the shooter. There was like, he tried to apply for a rifle club and they kicked him out because he was like the worst shot they've ever seen, which I don't know if that's true, but
yeah, it's something
funny.
like that. I think there was like a rifle club at his school or something, and yeah, he got kicked out because he couldn't shoot very well, which is like, oh man. Well,
yeah, apparently he was wielding some kind of rifle, but he didn't even think to like have like a scope attached to it or something, which just pointing that out to just an observation of facts. It seems like, you know, not suggesting anything.
Yeah, of course. But like, I mean, he got pretty fucking close. Like, if just things were a little bit, there's
guys, I just want you to know what he did was super illegal. Okay,
yeah,
don't do that.
Bad. Don't do it.
It is illegal to try to kill the presidential candidate of the United States of America.
Absolutely not.
Super illegal. Don't ever do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But if you did, maybe practice a little bit more, I guess. Do you think this is do you think this is like a Hitler got rejected from art school type of deal? They kicked him out of gun club, and he was like, I'll show them, and then just missed.
I've seen some other shit posts where it's like they have like the VAT system from Fallout and it's highlighting different body parts, and the head was like 1% chance. Yeah, I don't know, guys. We're not serious political commentators. This is a comedy show. Take it the appropriate level of serious.
Yeah, we just talked about the VAT system in Fallout, so that should be a pretty good indicator.
I think we should have lost you around the point where we suggested hiring like big booty Latina women for the Secret Service to. Like,
no, I was serious about that. I was serious.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had another story that was kind of related to this one. Did you hear today about the Tenacious D situation?
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
So the Tenacious D is Jack Black and what is the other guy's name?
Kyle Gass.
Kyle Gass. Yeah. Okay, so here's the situation. I have heard that recently, I think it was like Kyle Gass's birthday or something like that, a fan approached him with a birthday cake and was like, hey, make a wish. And his wish was something like, I hope whoever tries to shoot him next doesn't miss, or something like that. Very like, okay, a little edgy, but like this is a pretty like innocuous joke, I think, in context. Like, okay, just a cheap little joke. You don't like the guy. I get it. I don't think it's a big deal. But apparently Tenacious D is on tour and like they're canceling the tour now, and Jack Black was like, I was really sidewinded by this whole thing. I can't believe he said something like that. We cannot advocate for political violence. I don't know how to deal with this whole thing. And I'm like, I thought you guys are supposed to be fucking rock stars or something. This is like the most like pussy bullshit I've ever read.
Yeah, they're rock stars, like Nickelodeon rock stars. It's like,
yeah, that's
like
true.
Teen Choice Award shit. It's just
like I was never a Tenacious D head. I'm just aware of them. Like, oh, okay, that's the rock band with Jack Black.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like maybe you either die a rock star or you live long enough to become Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Is like I don't know if like he got famous for Tenacious D, but that's definitely not his main source of fame or income anymore. It's definitely like voicing fucking Pixar characters and shit like that, which is fine.
I think the first like movie he did, what was it, like School of Rock or something like that?
And I'm gonna
like
go on record and say I fucking love School of Rock. That's a great movie.
It's a classic. It's a fun movie. Everybody loves School of Rock, but it's like I think that might have been the turning point where he goes like, "Oh, okay, the music thing is fun, but I'm gonna be more of like a Hollywood sort of guy."
For sure. Yeah, and I think that lends itself to the thing. I mean, maybe he didn't want to do Tenacious D anymore, but he didn't want to leave his boy in the dust, and now he has a good excuse to just be like, well, Tenacious D is now broken up because
yeah, well, to be clear, it's like their tour is canceled. There isn't official word about the band breaking up, but I think I heard something about sorry, I already forgot his name, the other guy, Kyle Gass, was it?
Yeah, Kyle Gass, yeah.
I think I heard something about like his agent or manager like letting him go or something. So who knows?
He was a diehard Trumper, I guess. But it's like,
yeah, I don't know.
Man, I just this like PR shit it really boggles my mind. It's that innocuous, man. Now I gotta like worry about like Fed posting as much as I do, I guess, because I'm not serious. Like I'm to be clear, I'm never serious about any of those things. But
we would never advocate for illegal action on the show. Everything we say, we keep it within the law. We want you guys to follow the law.
Yes, yeah, fully. But it's like, there's a difference between saying like, hey, fellow kids, go assassinate your local senator, and just some like offhand comment like that. Like, fuck off, dude. This is what I keep saying. Like, LA needs to be just like ground into dust. It is such a bleak and horrible place. It's one of the like just the origins of like the fakeness and just every like
it's like when you get to a certain level of fame, it's almost like you kind of stop being a real person. You're basically just like a mouthpiece for like brands or whatever.
You become a product. you are like literally a product on a shelf, and all these people, and like so many people aspire to this and shit like that, and it's just like I look at somebody like Will Smith, for example. I don't see him as a human being. He is a product, and he's like a product on a shelf where like, but you know, like how like in X-Men or something like that, they treat like the mutants as like it's a product that's like, you know, we grew in a lab and we poked and prodded them and we honed their thing, and then, you know, they break out of the lab and it's like, I'm a human being after all. That's how I feel about these like giga celebrities. It's like you're not, everybody around you is just trying to like use you for to make money, and you're trying to use them to also make money. I don't think like most of these people enjoy anything anymore, just kind of like billionaires and shit like that, and it's like like it sounds cool from afar, but I feel like if I ever became like that, I would probably just be miserable. And then like it's the same thing where you like, people are like, how could Robin Williams have killed himself? He's so beloved and he's such a wonderful actor and he's so famous and he made a bunch of money. It's like, that's probably why. And I mean, I'm not saying that he didn't suffer from like mental illness or anything like that. There's something on top of it, but like people really think like having a shit ton of money and being on a bunch of shows and you know, like being a guest on Letterman is going to change that. It's like, no, it's probably going to make it worse. Honestly, it probably feeds into that. Like, so like, is Jack Black like not a piece of shit deep down? Probably, but LA has ruined him. Hollywood has ruined him. The industry has ruined him. And that's what leads into, I'm sure right after that happened, the first thing was in his mind was like, what's my agent gonna say? What's my publicist gonna say? What's gonna be told? Like, which is like,
yeah, I'm like conflicted on this because like from everything I've ever like seen or read or like heard of Jack Black, he looks, in my like just distant, uninformed assessment, he looks like a decent guy. I'm sure he's a nice person,
sure,
in person or whatever, but like the whole thing is like, okay, obviously he has this like brand image to keep up. I feel like ever since like he moved away from like the music thing more towards movies or whatever, and especially like kids movies or whatever, he's not really just like the rock star. Like he's not like somebody who is more edgy, like a fucking like Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age or something, right, or like Dave Grohl or whatever. He's more like, this is like the kids friendly rock star. He's like the cool uncle. He's like the big hairy funny guy, you know. He's like the big wholesome like cartoon character or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense, like, oh, for his personal brand or something, he can't be associated with like some like even the most like milk toast joking whatever like thing about like shooting a president or something. Although I'm not aware of this. I saw a tweet, something about how like there was a previous like Tenacious D album / movie where like they break into the White House dressed as Klansmen and just like kill Donald Trump Jr. with a Gatling gun or something. So I guess that's fine, but this joke isn't, which seems very hypocritical to me.
I didn't hear about that. That makes it way worse.
This is just like one tweet. I don't know. I don't keep up with Tenacious D. I sure as hell don't keep up with their movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole thing seems very strange and bizarre and just like kind of lame and disappointing to me. I don't know what else to say. But I guess rip to Kyle Gass, just gone with the wind, like a fart. I don't know. That sounded better in my head.
It's also like, first of all, this shit's gonna blow over in a fucking minute anyways, and then like, bro, he's fucking 54 years old, like, and he's been in everything. Like, do you not have enough money? Like, can you not, do you like, I can kind of see, this is a fucked up thing, is like, there's always this narrative of like, up and comer won't sell out and they stick to their guns, and it's like, wow, everybody respects that. But it's like, it seems to be as just like, well, you know, he can't jeopardize his career because he's been in the industry for 20 years. And it's like, well, at that point, like, you should be able to fucking take your dick out and stand up for yourself. Like, I guarantee if Jack Black was just like, yeah, it was funny, fuck you, or just like, yeah, I agree, or whatever, it's like, like, it would have blown over in a fucking week. Nobody gives a shit, man. But it's like,
yeah, like I said, my whole assessment of the whole like assassination attempt thing, like this is like the crazy news of the day. But like a day or two before this, we were all talking about how like Biden said like, oh, here's the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Putin or whatever, and he got some other people's names mixed up, and we were all freaking out about that.
He got every name mixed. He got basic nouns mixed up in that one.
It's like when you're playing one of those like adventure games and you have like a quick time sequence and you just don't press any of the buttons. That's basically been Biden's whole like past month or so.
Well, it's like in we'll bring it back to Fallout, is like when you set your intelligence to 1. And it's just like, what do you think about this? And it's just like, listen, Jack, I'm water bottle.
Listen, fat, 10, 20 people in a car. Look, thing is,
Pennsylvania is America.
Back in my day, Corn Pop was a bad guy. Yeah, all right, 100 people in a car.
Gave him a licking. Battle box.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. I don't know. I have more I would like to say about the whole Jack Black thing, but I had this episode idea, and I guess our patrons can get a little preview of it here. I thought at some point it might be fun for us to have like a whole conversation about the idea of like, what does selling out mean? Because I feel like there's been like a discourse about this like my entire life about like, oh, this celebrity did something that's like lame or uncool or like brand friendly or whatever, and it's like, oh, they sold out, oh, they're not sincere anymore. And I feel like there's a whole like probably broader, more in-depth convo to be had about like about sincerity and just selling out and making money and shit.
For sure. There's a spectrum of it, and like we talked about at the beginning of this episode with brand sponsorships, I think like pretty much. Well, I will save it for the episode. There's a broad spectrum of what like selling out because hey, you gotta get a couple bucks, and selling out like, wow, that is fucking shameful. There's a lot. We can kind of break
this
that
wasn't
down.
This wasn't really my intention at the start of the episode. Like, when I was preparing my topics, like just shit to riff off of today, like 90% of this just came from like some random conversations I had with like different friends over the weekend that I had some thoughts on. But like, yeah, I guess this is the whole thing today. Like when I was talking about all those D&D YouTubers, I'm like, it's not like I'm going to unsubscribe from all these people now. I think so-and-so is a bad person. I can't believe you did this really unethical thing. It's more like, I think your show is good enough that you can hold a higher standard than this for like the sponsors you take. I think this is like kind of a dumb thing, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe that could be our next full episode after the one that we're doing this week, which is a special secret episode. Although, will this one will probably go out before that.
Maybe, I don't know. Our schedule's a little bit of a mess right now, but we do have a guest coming on. I won't say the topic yet or the guest, but we do have a guest, so we're recording at some odd times this week, but look forward to it. If you haven't already heard it, that's going to be episode 33, I want to say.
Oh, Trace.
33.
Yeah.
Let me actually check my folder. This is so embarrassing. I should know what episode we're on, but I don't know. It's like...
I think it is 33, because I don't remember typing 2 3s into my folder of shit.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, I have a folder on my computer of
yes, it
taxes.
is confirmed.
No, just kidding. No.
33 next confirmed, by the way.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, I have a folder of like all the different like art related assets or whatever for the podcast on my PC, and sometimes I just like to open the particular folder with all the episode thumbnails listed nicely in order, episode 1.png, episode 2.png, or whatever, and I just like to stretch it out and look at all the work that I've done for the art, and I might be like, wow, we've come a really long way. That's a lot of shit there. That's pretty good. Wow. It's just like, sometimes you don't appreciate how far you've come until you like stop and look back and just see like how long the trail behind you is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we haven't been at this for that long, but I think already in this short little adventure we've had, it's come a long way, and it's we're gonna keep fucking doing it. baby.
I think I have to look up the exact dates. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm really bad with time and numbers or whatever, but I feel like we started the show like around the end of the year. I want to say like October, November last year. So I feel like our 1 year episode, our 1 year anniversary episode, that's going to be like right around election time. I feel like that's going to be kind of big and scary.
Oh, wow. Yeah, true. Well,
yeah, so we'll see. I don't know, like, it's election season right now, so it's kind of hard not to talk about this like every single week, but like I said before, we are really not in the game to be like serious politics YouTube commentators or whatever. So like we're gonna try to like keep things moderate, and like we don't want to wear out any one topic too much in the next couple months, but you guys know how it is. So.
Yeah, we had to riff on that a little bit because it was pretty funny. Yeah. A lot of weird shit happened this weekend when I was on vacation, but that was another one where I was just like, "Hey guys, let's guess what?" And my friends were like, "Ah." So yeah, that was a fun one. God bless you, world, and all of your fun, little, exciting, and silly, and tragic. By the way, tragic. We do not condone anything that happened there. That was very tragic and bad. All your little events. Life is good. Not
only do we not condone violence, this show is in favor of taking all your guns. Please give us your guns, just for no particular purpose.
Yeah, put all your guns in a crate and send them to our PO box, which we're gonna open pretty soon. We're gonna open a PO.
We're gonna do like a trade sort of system. If you send us one AR-15, we will send you one maid dress, which we would like you to put on.
Yeah, and a sticker, a commemorative sticker, limited edition.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap up, I did kind of have one more thing to talk about, but this is neither good nor fun nor silly. Maybe a little bit tragic. I want to get your opinion on this.
Yes.
Have you heard of the new explosive hit banger? Cartoon available only on X.com, the Everything app. Have you heard of The New Norm?
Yes, I watched the trailer for that, and that was that was so bad that I went to the comment section, and even the blue check MAGA chuds were like, "This fucking sucks. Who made this? You suck. This is terrible." Like, nobody liked this.
It's so awful.
Yeah.
I don't remember if this was on The New Norm or the other like Daily Wire cartoon. Was it like Mr. Bircham, something like that?
I'm not familiar with that one, but I did see The New Norm.
Okay, I think it was a joke on one of these two shows where one of the characters was like, "Oh, did you only make me decorate your interior because I'm gay?" And the other guy went like, "Yeah, but it's not a big deal," or something like that. It's just like a dumb, stupid, like boomer joke or whatever. And there was a clip I saw of some like audience person reacting like, "I can't believe they made this show woke. I just wanted one show for us conservatives where I don't have to hear about this gay bullshit." And it's like, you can't even make fun of the gay stuff without like some chuds just like seething that it's like referenced at all, which is like insane to me.
Which is hilarious, but that also like speaks to the fact that like these dudes cannot the funny thing is they're like, "Man, I missed when TV shows were just good old the Archie Bunker and we didn't have to see homosexuals and blacks on our TV, and when things weren't woke, and when women, it was okay to call them Tootsie Pop and all this type of shit." And then they make shows that are just like fully featuring like minorities and gay people so that they can be like, so that they can have their like their main character just be like, "What? You're gay?" In like every character is gay, and it's all about like gayness and shit. Because that's the thing, like it's rent free in these dudes' head. They're obsessed with trans people. They're obsessed with queer people. They're obsessed with blue hair millennials and minorities and DEI.
These folks think about like gender and transition and stuff more than like me or any other like actual queer person.
Yes.
You know, it's insane.
Exactly. And I mean, like, surely there are people who think about this shit like a little bit too much, and maybe for good reason, but it's just like most queer and trans people I know are just like, yeah, it's a thing. But anyways, like, let's talk about something else. These people, it's just like 24/7, just on their mind. Just like, can you believe that women have penises? That's not right. I can't stop thinking about girl cock. And it's like, all right, dude, like, maybe you should like take up a hobby or something. Or not, and just like lean into it, and just I don't know. Like,
I think I'd be careful about telling them to lean into it, because I feel like that's how you get a Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert situation.
Yeah, just spending like 7 hours on ChatGPT crafting the perfect like.
By the end of the prompt session, he looks like that one clip of like Randy Marsh from South Park, just like at the computer, just like covered in jizz. Okay, so like we could talk a lot about the new norm and how like, oh, this show sucks and it's not funny. All of these things are true. First, I wanted to share something with you, Dave. Did you know that the new norm apparently used to be like a webcomic from several years ago?
No, I had no idea.
So I found this tweet. This is a sample. This is a clip from, it wasn't called the new norm. It was called woke-world.com. And it's the most like dog shit looking webcomic you've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It's from 2020.
Yeah, so yeah, this is the same character, and I remember from the trailer he had like a black friend, and the like queer kid was like, what? You have a friend who's black, but you're conservative? And he's like, well, I do, because that's not racist.
It's purely cynical.
Yeah.
It's just because like conservatives want to get black voters right now, and they want to put queer people in like death camps or whatever.
Yeah. This fucking sucks though.
Do you want to narrate this comic?
Sure.
For us?
Yeah. Okay. Panel. Okay. This is called Participation Trophies, and it's from November 1st, 2020. And,
I think this might be written in like Comic Sans. I can't tell if that.
No, it's just one of those. It's not. It's just one of those. Oh wait, no. Oh, the
title right at the top. Maybe
it is ugly. It's slightly less ugly than comics. Comics.
All right. I'll let you go on. Yeah. Forget about this.
All right. Anyways, participation trophies are anti-American. The fat white guy says, and he's here with his black friend, who's definitely makes him not racist. In the second panel, he says, a winner's trophy, that's American. And his friend says, bad news, Norm, it's made in China.
Womp womp. Wow, this is the most
dog shit.
Yeah, wow.
Fuck you.
Funniest shit I've ever seen.
It's like that's not even like clever or anything. It's just like this is the problem with a lot of like conservative comedy. It's just like there's no like setup. There's none of the functions that make comedy good. Like it's just like shoehorning like things that they're pissed off about in there. It's just like participation trophies, America, oh, China, bad.
I don't even get the joke. It's just like
I don't get it either.
America, but China, I don't know.
Because the American thing, and also like it's made in China. Like that doesn't. That's not even like a. What like conservative candidate is trying to like end globalism and like take jobs out of China? They all dick suck like massive corporations, so it doesn't make any sense anyways.
Yeah, it's just whack. I don't know. I have this whole theory. I legitimately think that conservatives are just like trained by their like thought leaders.
I was gonna say the same
dogs.
thing that you say all the time. Is it's just like it's just ringing little bells here and it just makes them bark in different ways.
Yeah, this is straight up Pavlovian. It's like America, no China, oh ding 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 ding, and then they just like slobber all over themselves.
Soft generation participation trophies. American, China,
participation trophy. But here's the thing. I wanted to share this comic because okay, so funny thing about this, we talk about, they're trained to slobber like dogs. The art style looks awful.
Yeah, it sucks.
But looking closely at this, I realize I feel like I've seen this art style before, and it kind of reminds me of being like a kid and browsing like Flash games and shit on Newgrounds.com.
Yeah.
And this looks a lot like those really awful. You ever see those like meat and fuck hentai games?
Oh,
or whatever?
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
some awful dog shit like Flash animation of like 7 frames of like fucking or something.
Yeah, because it's like vector art, so you can kind of just like, instead of like doing frame by frame animation, you can
just like squash and stretch stuff,
and just like move things back and forth without having to redraw it. So it's like low effort shit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think maybe other people got similar horny thoughts, because I've seen some very funny fan art of the new Norm and Mr. Bertram online, and it's like the gays have taken over this fandom in like the funniest way possible. Take a look at this fan art. Somebody drew like the main characters of Mr. Bertram and the new Norm, and they're all like naked in bed. It's like a polycule thing. One of them is wearing like thigh highs and has like FTM top surgery scars. They have the black guy cuddling with Norm, and they're all just like in bed together looking very happy and gay, and it's like, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Oh, is that where I've seen people posting this guy with the mustache. So that's Mr. Bertram? Gotcha.
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah. It's just more like shitty media.
Yeah, I've seen some more very funny fan art. I feel like we gotta include this in the show notes on Patreon or whatever. We'll find a way to do that.
Yeah.
If I say the words Miku Binder Thomas Jefferson, does that mean anything to you?
Miku Binder Thomas Jefferson?
I know it sounds like the verbal component for like a spell in D&D.
I was gonna say,
Miku
all
Binder
right,
Thomas Jefferson.
just say it 4 times and he'll appear in the mirror.
But does this mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay, 1, I envy you. 2, this was a thing on Tumblr a couple years ago. Do you remember the Hamilton movie? It's like a musical.
Yes.
It's like very liberal bullshit.
It's shit. Fuck that.
There was a Tumblr fandom that arose around Hamilton, and there was a very notorious bit of fan art that somebody did where they made Thomas Jefferson like a woke Tumblr user or something. And I have to stress to you, this is like completely sincere. This is not like a parody. This was like quite a few years ago, so this person is like being completely their real self. You have to take a look at Miku Binder Thomas Jefferson.
Oh. No, this is not. You're saying this is not satire?
No, this is for real.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna read this to you as I see it.
Please do, because I need a sip of water.
Okay, so this is some like, I don't even know how to describe this art style. We will put it in the Patreon post or something.
I'll interject right away to say this was like a very like this is kind of known as like a Tumblr art style.
Yeah.
A lot of very popular like meme shitpost Tumblr accounts, whatever, they had art in this style a couple of years ago.
Okay, so Thomas Jefferson, him, art education major. English, French, some Japanese. They have a trans flag, and what is that? The fucking bisexual flag?
That's bi flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
5'11", 26 years old, born and raised in Virginia, furry, taking Japanese lessons, thinks he can cook but can't. Dated Angelica Schuler before his transition. Her dad had no idea, calls her Angie. One or few who can and live. Obsessed with anime. Frequents Barnes & Noble and Starbucks, I guess. So naturally runs into Alexander and his ex, Angelica, a lot. John's former drug dealer, ... Used to be addicted to cocaine. Hates to recall his past. Tattoo artist. Gives Peggy her first tattoo. Pretends to like jazz and classical, but is really K and J-pop trash. Flamboyant, loudmouthed, and bad at love. Alexander did not want him to have a bracelet, but Maria makes them, and she seems to like him, so always beats Alex at Pokemon because his are genned by James. Alex knows, but pride always drives him to rematch him. Are you sure this is not satire?
No, I feel like this is for real. And of course the name comes from the Miku binders being like a thing that like trans guys wear to like squish the breasts down, have more of a flat chest. If you guys don't know, there's like Hatsune Miku's face printed all over the binder, and he's wearing like a loose shirt that says "I met God, she's black." It's like this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen, but it's kind of old hat. And I brought this up because we don't need to get into like we don't need to read all of them in detail, but I needed to introduce you to this to as a forward before what I'm about to show, which is people have given the same treatment to the new norm, and you need to take a look at some of these.
Okay.
Just feel free to just like read some sentences at random. We don't need to do all of them.
Okay, it's Norm, similar style. Ivan Binder. Is Ivan a character in the show?
I guess.
Okay.
Maybe.
Norm's a he/him. He's got the trans flag. And what is that one?
That's the pansexual.
Okay, the pan. Okay, so Norm is pan. Can cook but prefers letting others do it. Dated whoever his best friend, the black guy with the beard, before, but didn't work out during pre-transition. But he accepted him and stayed as close friends. Huge Mitsuki and Chu fan. Luna as whole too. Used to be a My Chemical Romance fan but fell out of it. Artist, went to art school before as a hobby. First ex was toxic as fuck to him before, as he kept critiquing him to act girly more pre-transition. What the fuck, dude? This.
Oh, you're not ready. There's even more. I'm gonna read a few off of this next one. Okay. It gets woker.
Yeah.
So this is another one. In this one, he is known as Norman Skysparkle. Uses they/them/she/it. Nicknames: Norm, friends and family, Nom Nom, Charlie, or Norbland, Chaz. Likes cosplaying and hanging out with Charlie. Hates the woke and dealing with Chloe. He's married with Janice, but is having a gay affair with Charlie. Although she is Norm's daughter, Chloe doesn't like him, and he plays support in every game possible. And we've got like Norm wearing, I want to say that's the non-binary pin. People are gonna tear me alive if I'm wrong. And the pansexual pin. And he's like wearing cat ears, and he has pink hair and little like cat paw gloves and shoes, and I guess I don't know if he has either very long hair or like a pink tail or something. It's very, I love this. I love that we're doing this to this piece of media.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's beautiful, honestly. There's so much going on here. The paws on the hands and feet, just phenomenal. The pink hair that goes past his butt. I mean, butt. I'm sorry to misgender you, Norman Skysparkle. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I think G looks great.
Yeah.
Let's do one more. This is the black guy on the show. I guess his name is Charlie, something like that. Take a look at this. I will go over a couple of these. This is Charles Morningstar, the Demon Prince. Uses he/him. He's got the trans pin, and I think that's like the gay male pin. I know there's some controversy with that flag, whatever reason. He has like bindings on his chest, and he's wearing like a cool red cloak, and he has like devil horns and like some kind of like red sash or like tail or something. It's hard for me to tell. It says nicknames: Charlie with friends and family, Sport with father, or Char with Norm. Just had top surgery and hides it from everyone except Norm. Has demon powers and uses them to protect Norm. His father does not approve of his new identity. That's why he is currently living with Norm.
Oh, he's got the really edgy devil guy persona, which is it just works. It works really well for him, honestly.
This is great. I don't know what else to say other than like, I feel like there's been a whole cottage industry on YouTube of like the lefty politics people who I just said we're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. But I feel like for years, like there's been like a lot of like people on YouTube who are like, they take bits of conservative media and be like, wow, this sure is kind of stupid. Isn't that kind of goofy? Wow, this doesn't make any sense at all. And like we engage in a little bit of that on the show, but seeing these like bits of fan art really got me thinking like, is this the way forward? Is this the thing to do to like deal with like stupid conservative media? Just make it like unbearably like embarrassingly woke and like gay and like colorful and stuff. And I'm like, maybe there's something to unpack here. Maybe
honestly, I agree. I think this is taking it so unseriously and like flipping it into like the most annoying and like stupid shit ever, that this is really the way to disarm this. And if you just flood the internet with stuff like this, it totally devalues whatever sliver of like just like artistic value, which is again sliver, or like any gravity that any of this nonsense has behind it. Just like to just ridicule it in like in like, to go with what you said, which I think what I'm getting from that, which I agree with, is like a lot of these like lefty politics react streamer fucking YouTube people are just like, they're watching this like complete just deranged nonsense from some like right-wing fucking hack, and they're like, what an idiot. But then they're like debunking his talking points and like taking it mad seriously. It's like, no, this is fucking bullshit. Just point and laugh in these beautiful pieces of artwork is the most distilled in both high effort and like low effort, the perfect intersection of that, and just the greatest way in my mind to point and laugh at the absurdity and the corniness and the absolute lack of value that any of this shit has. And to whoever made this shit, I applaud you, I commend you, and keep on doing that. We salute
you.
Yeah,
you are the bravest soldiers in the Super Despair Army.
Yes.
Keep it up. Yeah, I just feel like I look at so many like stupid like back and forth like culture war exchanges on the internet, and I'm like, okay, are we just like having like a pointless slap fight where it's like we're just kind of like, you, no you, no you. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I look at these pieces of art and my response is like, how do you respond to this? You can't.
Exactly.
You can't. This is so ridiculous. Like, to acknowledge this at all is to lose, and I feel like this might be the way forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
I look at some examples of like, because this is a bit of a different situation, but like we know from like history that like it is kind of possible for brands to sort of lose control of like their IP and like how it's like viewed in public. And I think a very good notorious example of this is Overwatch.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody looks at like Overwatch, and I admit I like a lot of the character designs in Overwatch. I think Blizzard, for all their faults, they have good like artists and character designers and things like that. I think a lot of people fell in love with these characters for like obvious reasons, because I just think they look cool, people like them, they're made to be likable. They succeeded in that.
Yes.
But the thing is like they like kind of lost control of their own image, because like, one, they did not take care of anything like story wise. Everything, it's like there's no plot in Overwatch. It's completely incoherent. It's all bullshit. And it's like, yeah, these characters eventually became so synonymous with like the fan art and the porn that people make of them, that it's like that's kind of the first thing that people see now when they look at anything related to Overwatch. It's like, oh yeah, this is just the game based off of all of those like source filmmaker animations or whatever.
Exactly.
And it's like maybe that's what we need to do with these like really dog shit like waste of money like conservative cartoon productions or something. Maybe we just need to like make the image so synonymous with something that they don't like that they just have to like give up on it, you know?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, co-opt this shit. Take it away from them, because all it is fucking propaganda. There's no like
there's no artistic merit.
Yeah, it's kind of like how people, although this is actually funny and KFC ran with it, but like people who like sexualized Colonel Sanders and turned him into like a daddy and shit. But like,
okay, that is pretty funny.
It is funny, but the thing is, instead of KFC being like sending cease and desist letters, they like made a fucking Steam dating game, which was like Colonel Sanders finger licking good like daddy dating sim or some shit. I played it actually when I still used to stream. It was actually pretty funny. It was pretty good. It was like complete nonsense, but it's like I mean
honestly, like in that case, it's got to be like a win for KFC, right? Because you look at like an old white Southern gentleman, and I feel like there's so many worse things he could be associated with.
Yeah, exactly.
Like daddy dating,
right? But like this type of shit could not do that because they would just like there's no way that it's incompatible with the with like the world that they're trying to push on people. So it's like so like this is great. I think we should do more of this.
Yeah, I just want to say again, I feel like this is also important to note. Nobody likes this show, not even the people it is made for. So if you're gonna do something like this, just try to remember like allocate your time and efforts like appropriately. I feel like this art, like somebody made this in like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Which is even better. Don't make it too high effort. Make it as an in joke for your friends first, and then also a way to dunk on this. If you make it with anger, then you've already lost. Make it with a point and laugh mentality. Because if there's any big fault of conservative comedy, it's because like you can't be funny when you're like seething mad and you actually just like want to kill the people you're joking about or whatever. And that's all they do, which is why nothing they do is ever funny. So
yeah, and this is just some like strategizing, just some thinking aloud. This isn't like a comprehensive, definitive theory about how to deal with like culture war bullshit. But I feel like maybe if like some bit of conservative media does actually end up being like big and well liked by people, I feel like maybe then we can talk about putting more effort into some kind of like gay co-opt like meme campaign to throw it off the rails. But again, just keeping up with the news, keeping up with the cartoons they're putting out. I thought this was funny as fuck. I think it's an interesting little case study, just something to be aware of. And I want to find the actual artists behind these, if it's even possible. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta commend them. It's great.
Fuck yeah. If you're listening to this and make yourselves known. Or if you know who this is, we love you.
Contact us. Actually, you know what? I would love. Maybe this is opening Pandora's box a little bit, but it would be funny as fuck if like a fan drew like all of the Super Despair World characters in like this format.
That would be great. I would.
To make it as funny as possible, I'm not even gonna say anything about my various identities. You either know or you don't. I'm not gonna tell. I think it's funnier if whoever's making it knows as little about us as possible. I don't know, but
I mean, but it's funnier if they're not even close to correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we went a bit long today, but it's been like two weeks, I think, without a bonus episode. So hopefully you guys enjoy this extra big bite of slop.
That's it for today. Yeah, we filled the slop bucket up extra big for you because we threw some bacon and gummy worms in there for you guys. So eat up, get nice and big and round, and we'll see you next week, I guess. Fucking A. Good fight. Good night.